Hello, I'm EG, and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video, I'm going to show what I spent my second YouTube payment on. Because if you see my previous videos, I said that that the first YouTube payment that I got, what the plan was I was going to take half of it and save it, and then take the other half and just have a whole bunch of fun with it. And then we were supposed to get this catastrophic snowstorm that was going to dump like over a foot on our town. It was supposed to be like that heavy wet snow, and so I wanted to like prepare for the storm. And then it turned into, oh, it's not going to be a catastrophic snowstorm. It's going to be a catastrophic ice storm. We're supposed to get like 3/4 of an inch, which would have like coated the lines and the trees and caused all kinds of damage and power outages. And so I really needed to like stock up and buy water and canned goods and batteries and flashlights and all this. And so I did all that. And luckily, like right at the last minute, the temperature dropped enough where all the precipitation that came down, it turned into the ice that pinged off of stuff. I mean, it was still a mess. And then we got some snow a couple weeks later too on top of it. But luckily, it wasn't like a catastrophic storm. But so that's what I spent my first YouTube payment on. And it gave me a lot of peace of mind, and I was so appreciative to all of you that watch my videos and contribute to the ad revenue, watching the ads and stuff, and then all the super thanks that I got. Full disclosure, most of the money was from the super thanks. I mean, I'm monetized and everything, but like most of the money from the first payment was like the super thanks and stuff, because I wasn't getting like the big ad revenue. I'm still not getting the big ad revenue, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not like a big YouTuber or anything. I'm not like getting. Guess what? I got my next check and it's thousands of dollars. Like, that's never gonna happen. But it was enough where it gave me a lot of peace of mind before the ice storm, and so I was like really appreciative and everything. But I didn't get to have fun with it. It was like it all went to practical stuff, and while it gave me a lot of peace of mind, I didn't get to like have fun with it and buy a bunch of like random stuff. And so I said to myself, like the second YouTube payment that I get, I'm at the point where it takes me a couple months to get a YouTube payment. It's not like because you have to reach a threshold at the end of the month, like $100, and so I haven't reached to the point where I get a check every month. Maybe in the future, but I doubt it. Not the way my videos are, all over the place and scatterbrained and all kinds of ums and all that stuff. But I said to myself, like, when I get my second payment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just completely blow that one, because I was really practical and used the first check to get all this stuff to prepare for the storm, and that was a really good thing. But I didn't get to have any fun with it, so I thought, the second check, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blow the whole thing and just have all kinds of fun. And then if I get a third payment, what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to take half of it and put it aside, and then take the other half and just have a little bit of fun with it. But this one, I just wanted to have fun and everything. So what I did was I went down to the town where my Joanne was. It turned out I hadn't been down there, or I knew that I hadn't been down there since they closed. Now I'm like in my head, I hadn't been down there. I had, it's right, but it just sounds like extra southern, because of my ass. But I hadn't been down there since Joanne closed, and so I didn't realize how long it had been. It had been 10 months since I had been down there, and so it's like 30 minutes away, and that's a long drive for me. I practically drive that every week, going back and forth from my house to Hobby Lobby and back home and all that, checking for clearance charm. But it's a lot in like one trip, and so I didn't go down there very often, and so I hadn't been down there since Joanne closed, and so I wanted to go down there just to see. And like part of me sort of hesitated, because I didn't want to like drive into that shopping center and then see Joanne gone, because I only got to go into my Joanne a handful of times, but it was so much fun to like walk in there and see all of that yarn. It was just aisle after aisle after aisle of yarn in there, and it was just so much fun. And so I was like hesitant to even go down there and see it empty and stuff, but I wanted to go down there and I see it. And then there are a couple pawn shops in there that had DVDs, and there's a Walmart, there's an Ollie's, there's a Goodwill, and some Dollar Trees. And so I decided to just like make a whole day out of it. And my mom and I went down there, and we got a couple things from the random stores. And so I knew that I wanted to do that. And then on the way back, I went to some of the places in my town, and then I did order some stuff, some of it before we went down there and some after, but all of it has come. And so I ordered some stuff on eBay, ordered some stuff on Amazon, and all that came. And like some of it's yarn related and some of it is just not at all. It's just like completely random stuff. But wanted to just completely blow this payment and just have all kinds of fun with it, and like whether it's yarn related related or not, and I'll show everything that I got. I did get a couple skeins of yarn, but like for the most part, it's just like a lot of yarn related stuff, like figurines and ornaments and puzzles and books and all that, and then some completely random stuff that have nothing to do with crochet. But what I'll do is I'll start with the stuff that I bought online, and then I'll get into the trip down there to where Joanne was, and talk about the stuff I got there, and when I came back to town and got a few things around town too. But I'll start with the stuff that I got online. So some of the stuff I got was puzzles, and like my mom and I are having fun making these puzzles and everything, and you know how I'm gluing the back, and I'm going to hang them up in this room. But a lot of the there's a lot of Dollar Trees, and not as many Dollar Generals or whatever, but there's a lot of Dollar Trees like from here to the town where my Joanne was, and even like a couple in that town. So I wanted to look in those Dollar Trees to see if they had any more of those cheap puzzles with yarn on it. Most of them with cats and yarn, but I wanted to see if they had any in those Dollar Trees, but they didn't. Like all the ones that I went to, they didn't have any puzzles. But I did order some on a couple on eBay and a couple on Amazon. So these two are like the 100 piece puzzles, like the really small ones. They have, of course, they have kitties on them, kitties and yarn balls. So there's this one that I got, and then this one right here. The picture on the side shows that one a little bit better. It looks like a kid. I'm sure that it feels like these are AI generated images, but I have no proof of that. But like just the look of it. I mean, I'm a graphic designer. I know what an AI generated image looks like. It just bothers me as a graphic designer to see all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like the way I kind of like, you know, put my principles aside when I go into Hobby Lobby just to look for clearance yarn, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, you know, I don't really agree with AI generated images and stuff, and how it can take away jobs from graphic designers and like the whole ethics of it, and you know the infrastructure and how it affects that, and it using like existing art from other artists without their permission and without paying them to, like, you know, train the system to create, like, you know, all the ethics around AI stuff. But at the same time, I'm looking at these pictures and, like, you know, I throw out my ethics just to get these puzzles because they're adorable. And so it's the same kind of mentality. It's just like, you know, that la 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 mentality that a lot of us have to do, like with you know, various things in our life. And I did that same kind of thing when I saw these pictures. I thought that they're a little, you know, fuzzy and you know, really bright, and like they look like, I'm sure that they didn't find any cats that would, you know, perfectly pose with balls of yarn and stuff. They're probably AI generated, or at least you know, created digitally, let's say. But at the same time, they're adorable as hell, so I bought it anyway. So you can call me a hypocrite if you want. Like, I don't care. I mean, I totally am, but like at the same time, this is adorable as hell. So these are two little puzzles that I got, and then I got this. This is really cool. This was on Amazon. This is like I could not believe that they had this. I mean, it's like a rainbow of yarn. Well, it's called rainbow yarn, and it's just like all these skeins. This is 1,000-piece puzzle. I don't know how big it is. 50 by 70 centimeters. I don't know centimeters and all that kind of stuff. I'm American, so I don't know like the metric system and all that. You know, like centimeters and meters and millimeters and like I don't know that crap. I know inches and like, you know, I'm American, so that's what I know. So I don't know. It's gonna be huge. Like if it's this big box. Oh, and another thing that I love about these big puzzles is I'm starting to notice that some of these puzzles have like a poster in them, like a poster of what the puzzle looks like. So this is really cool. Like I want to hang this up until I do the puzzle. And so I just thought that was really cool to have that in the box, because then you can have a poster until the puzzle's done. So I got that one. And then there was this puzzle. I mean, obviously, this was created digitally. It's not like they, you know, created this giant shelf and had all these yarn balls on it, and had these kitties come in and pose perfectly for this puzzle. But it's adorable. It has all these kitties on it, and all like baskets of yarn, and, you know, big skeins of yarn and crochet, and it's just adorable. This one's a 1,500 piece puzzle. I mean, it came with a poster too. So like, I just feel like I want to hang up the poster until I do the puzzle. So it's just utterly adorable. And so I know a lot of the stuff that in my room is just like, you know, cats and stuff, but it's like cats with yarn. Until, you know, Hobby Lobby or someplace, you know, starts a trend where, you know, Highland cows or some other animal or whatever loves yarn, and, you know, creates all kinds of stuff around that. Like that's what, I mean, I love cats anyway. But at the same time, I'm kind of limited of, like, you know, the kind of art that you can find with yarn on it. It's always stuff with cats on it. But I do love cats. I don't have any right now, because like my cat Tinky that I've shown in previous videos, we had him for like over 20 years. And at the same time, he was like a special part of the family. And not only that, but he like the mother of Tinky was my sister's cat. And so there was that connection too, because, you know, I lost my sister too. And so like to think think of like, you know, getting a cat that, I mean, it wouldn't be like to replace Tinky or whatever, but like every time I looked at Tinky, you know, years after my sister died, it was like, it made you think of my sister too, because he was her cat's son. So while I don't have any cats now, I have plenty on my freaking walls and stuff now, but I don't have an actual cat. But I do love that I'm finding all these pictures with yarn on, but they do have a lot of cats in them. So I don't need any cats because I have plenty of pictures of them in this room. But so I got those 4 puzzles. And then I was looking around on eBay, and they have these things that they're called candle toppers. I had never heard of these before. I don't know if it's like one brand or just like it was a couple brand or like some kind of trend from years ago. But there was one day I was in Salvation Army and I saw this little thing, and it looked like a little round circle thing, and it had something on it, and it was like a basket. The reason I looked at it is because it was a basket, but what it was a basket of vegetables. And it looked like this 3D figurine thing, but it was on this base, and the base had this kind of rubber thing on the underside of it. And I thought that was kind of a weird base. Of course I didn't get it because it was vegetables, but like the reason I looked at it was because I saw the basket and like this kind of round stuff, but it turned out to be vegetables. I was hoping it would be like a little basket of yarn, but come to find out, because when I was looking around on eBay to see like what kind of like figurines they have with yarn and stuff on it, I came across a couple of these, and I thought, oh, that's what that was. It's like a candle topper. I guess when you take like one of those candles that you get in the store, when you take the lid off, you can get like a decorative, or you could, I don't think they make these anymore. You could get like this decorative candle topper to put on the candle when you're not using it, and like turn it into a little figurine. I don't know, but they're adorable as hell. I mean, they're really cool. And so I got a couple with yarn on it. So speaking of kitties, this is the first one that I got. I mean, look at this. This is adorable. I cannot believe that they had something like this. Why did I never know about candle toppers or whatever? I'm not going to put it on a candle. I'm just going to display it when I reorganize this room and create a shelf, either here or over here or somewhere in this room. To put all these little figurine things in it. I'm going to have so many adorable things with yarn on that shelf. But it has 2 cats and these yarn balls and balls in a basket. I mean, I cannot believe how adorable this was. And so I got that. And then this one right here. It's a basket of yarn balls, and it has knitting needles, of course. They always have knitting needles. I don't know why the people that make these figurines don't think to make like a crochet hook. Maybe it's harder than just making like these 2 long skinny things, but it's really adorable. And like the detail in these things too. I mean, if you look really close, I mean, my eyes are going because I'm getting old, so I'm in my 40s. You can see all the details in the strands of yarn. I mean, it looks like a twisted strand of yarn in these little balls. I don't know if you can see the detail or whatever in this crappy camera, but this is adorable. It has little spools of thread and everything too, a little thimble and all that. But like I got it just because it has all these balls of yarn on it, so I got that too. And I love that, like, every time I look at these things, of course I'm going to think, oh, look how adorable that is. But at the same time, like, I only got this stuff because of you all, because of, like, all the support that you've given me. And not just, like, the super thanks and stuff, but, like, just watching my videos gives me part of the ad revenue. And so, like, if you're sitting through my ridiculous ass, for God knows how long, watching my videos, you're the reason why I got all this stuff. And why I got this opportunity to have all kinds of fun and, buy all these little knickknacks and stuff that I probably don't need, but, like, who cares? You don't need all these skeins of yarn either, but I'm buying all this yarn and having all kinds of fun. So of course I don't need all this stuff, but it's just incredibly fun, and it's going to make me think of you all every single time I look at it. But this is another little figurine I got on eBay, and it's a cat crocheting. It actually has a little crochet hook, and with a little baby kitten by it, and this is, I mean, I look at this kind of stuff and I think, like, this is the stuff that, like, in my head, like, the stereotypical stuff that would be in, like, a little old lady's house. And like, my house is turning into that, like, with all these doilies and stuff. I'm going to show it to it. I do have a make in this video. It's a little doily thing. So I did make something. But I have all these doilies in my house and stuff, and now I'm collecting all these adorable little figurines. Like, I talk about how, I'm 40 years old, like, I'm really old. But I feel like inside, I'm even older than that, because I feel like there's like a little old lady in my head. Just the way I'm obsessed with yarn and crocheting all kinds of things, and buying these adorable little figurines and stuff. I mean, like, who the hell else would buy this stuff? I mean, it's adorable as hell. So I got this. So I'm just going to put that on my little knick-knack shelf. And you can see a little ball of yarn on the side and what she's making. I don't know what she was making. Maybe a little blanket. I don't know what she was making. But I got that on eBay. Oh, and what was stupid is like a big box with a lot of this stuff in it. Went next door. You know how Amazon delivers stuff to the wrong house sometimes. They're always delivering it next door. But I didn't find out this time until I checked the tracking, because I was going to give the delivery driver good feedback. And then I looked at the picture that they uploaded, and it was like the neighbor's porch. And I thought, oh well, thank God we have really good neighbors. I mean, not that they would have like scored anything really valuable if they would have opened it. If we would have had like really crappy neighbors and they would have opened it up, they would be like, oh, well, this is a bunch of like yarn and stuff, yarn figurines and crap. But whatever. Luckily, we have really nice neighbors and stuff, and that do Amazon's job for them and delivers our packages to our door when it gets delivered to the wrong address. And then I bought these. I don't know what you call. I mean, they're glass ornaments. So there's like really delicate glass ornaments that like those really old-fashioned kind of ornaments on a Christmas tree. And so I got 2 of these on Amazon, and they have yarn on it. That's the only reason I got them. But what sucks is like these boxes. I mean, I know that this is probably like some handmade thing, and it's like an antique. But at the same time, these ornament boxes, they're kind of like cheap. It sort of reminds me of like who's the person who has that joke? Like as if I need to go off on a tangent this long ass video, but like Ellen DeGeneres when in her stand-up special, I think it was like Here and Now, where she was talking about how like batteries are use that thick government plastic or whatever. And of course I have like TV references, and now I make references to comedians too, because I love stand-up comedy. But she says if you want to buy batteries, they're in that like really thick plastic and thick cardboard and stuff. But then if you want to buy like a light bulb, it's in like this thin cardboard. It feels like that. Like, why is this in such like? I mean, it's really pretty packaging and stuff, but at the same time, when it arrived like this, I was just, I mean, it was protected in like an Amazon box, but at the same time, I was thinking, this is like kind of flimsy for something that's so delicate or whatever. I mean, luckily these are fine, but at the same time, I was kind of worried. Like, I'm sure that there may be people that, get these and they're broken just because of how flimsy the box is, but luckily mine was perfect and everything. But anyway, so this is an ornament that I got. I'm gonna laugh every single time I take something out of these boxes, because it's just so ridiculous that I'm like buying this stuff. But I love it. I really do. I love yarn, and I love this, and I love this whole experience, and I love that like you're enjoying this with me, because then I don't feel like such an idiot like buying all this stuff, because I know that you're gonna love that I got all this stuff too. You're gonna love seeing all this stuff too, because if you're here and you're like watching my ridiculous ass, and you love yarn as much as I do. It's a little kitty with a yarn ball, and it's all glittery too. I love glittery things, and so this is one of those like delicate ornaments. And so what I'm going to do is I bought some of the, let me show the other one first. I'm all over the place in this video already, and I have like so much stuff to get to. But it's by the same company, Old World Christmas. They're really gorgeous ornaments and stuff, but at the same time they just need to kind of rethink their packaging, because if I come across any more, I'm just going to be kind of leery that, oh my god, what if they show up and they're going to be busted? Because like I've bought some of these ornaments before, not from this company, but like I found some in a Goodwill bag, and I have them on my tree, and they've broken before, because they're that like really thin glass that like ornaments are made out of, and so I'm kind of leery of like holding these the wrong way or hanging them up the wrong way, because I don't want anything to happen to them, because they are really delicate, these glass ornaments. Blown glass, that is what it's called. But this one is like balls of yarn in a basket. Just adorable. And I mean, the detail on these two, even though it's like blown glass, the detail is really good too. And all the colors and the glitter and just adorable. So what I'm going to do, what I was going to say, was what I'm going to do with all these ornaments, and I do have some other ornaments. What I'm going to do is I bought some of these binder clips. These things right here, I guess that's what you call them, binder clips. But I wanted to get these like really big ones, because I was thinking if I want to hang these on my wall, because I mean, I guess when I make a shelf, I'm either going to put it on one of these shelves or like behind me. But I'm afraid that if I put it behind me with all my knickknacks there, you're not going to be able to see it because of my high back chair. And so it may be like one of these. But like what I was worried about was, I didn't want to just like put something like this on the shelf, like just have it sitting there. I wanted to kind of hang it up, but I was afraid that like if I hang up something like this, like I'm even leery of like holding this, because I'm afraid like what if this comes out, or and it like drops and shatters into a million pieces. So like what I was worried about was like hanging this, like even if I'm just like putting a little screw in one of the boards or a little hook, or I was afraid that like just having it hanging there, it would be too easy for it to be knocked or whatever. Like I'm carrying in a freaking haul, you know, I got another haul from Hobby Lobby. I'm like carrying it in, and like one of the giant bags that I bring home from that store, you know, bangs in one of the ornaments and then, you know, shatters on the ground. And so that's what I was worried about. And so I was thinking, if I use these big binder clips, I had to get the big ones because I wanted to put them on the wood of these shelves. I thought I could use these binder clips, and then I'll string up these ornaments and put the string through here. And so put the binder clip on the shelf like that, and then I'll put I'll move the yarn or whatever and flip the clips up, you know, so they're not sticking out. But then that'll be a way to secure it onto my wall so that they're hanging like in front of the stuff that's on the shelf itself. But it'll be hanging there, and it won't be like prone to getting knocked off and everything. And so that's why I bought these binder. I had to buy like this giant box of binder clips. I forget how many's in here. I guess it's cheaper to just, like, you know, buy stuff in bulk, like when you buy on Amazon. It's cheaper to just buy a giant box like this. It doesn't even say how many it is. But it's like this giant box of these. I only need like maybe 5 of these, but I'll use these for things because I'm a writer and I have all kinds of paperwork. I'll definitely use these binder clips. I use them all the time. I just don't use like these giant ones like this, but I'll definitely use these for something. And if that system works out where, you know, I hang up something like that with these binder clips, I could use that around Christmas when I'm decorating my house, or if I need to like hang up something in my niece's playroom or like whatever, I can, you know, use these for that. But I had to buy this big box of those binder clips, but just for that. Oh, speaking of my niece's playroom, this has nothing to do with yarn, but I was thinking about my niece's playroom has kind of like a universe theme, because I wanted to give her, I wanted her when she came over here to feel like, you know, she's in her own little universe, her own little magic universe. And so there's like a universe theme in her playroom. I mean, there's all kinds of Wednesday stuff and all kinds of magic stuff and unicorns and mermaids and fairies and all kinds of other things too. But like there is like a lot of space stuff, because I wanted her to feel like, you know, she's in her own, you know, magical universe over here. And so there's a lot of space stuff, and there's all kinds of stars hanging off like over the bed in her playroom. And then there's this tapestry thing on top of the ceiling over. She has a little couch in there that she can, you know, sit on her iPad, you know, the way kids are. And it has like the galaxy on it, and there's a lot of space stuff in there. And so I was thinking it would be kind of cool because I had gotten this border paper. It's completely a random thing, but I got some border paper that might be nice to put up in my living room. You know, I'm not even going to show it. It's like a completely random thing, but I knew that would turn out really nice, and I was thinking, what kind of border paper could I put in my niece's room? And if, you know, that worked out and it actually looks really nice in there, because I'm like decorating my house. I mean, it's weird. We really are settling in this house. We've been in this house for like 18 years, but like it's weird that like we're just starting to settle in this house. But I never thought it'd be like putting up border paper in a living room, or like, you know, decorating my bathroom with all kinds of knickknacks and stuff. But it is really fun to, you know, like decorate our house, because I've spent so much, you know, creative energy, like, you know, decorating this room and making this, you know, yarn room look really nice, that it's kind of like made us look at the rest of the house and think, you know, maybe we could do something in here. And because like, you know, walking through here, there's so much color in it. It's like I have all the knickknacks showing, and like my ceramics and like having these displays of my dad's and my mom's dad's flag, and it's just like a really inspiring room to walk through. And so it's kind of inspired us to, you know, look at the rest of our house and think, maybe we could do this in here, because, you know, how you did that in there, or maybe we can like decorate in here. It is kind of inspirational, just this room. And also I need more space to, you know, put all kinds of like, you know, doilies and stuff that I make, or like all kinds of things like that. So if I have all kinds of things organized in there, then I'll have a little shelf that I can, you know, make a doily for, or a runner or something. It's, you know, inspirational in that way too. But anyway, so I was thinking about my niece's playroom. God, this is a long story just for this one, you know, random tangent. It has nothing to do with yarn. But I found this border paper, and I thought it'd be kind of cool. It's that kind of paper that teachers use on those bulletin boards. But it's really cool though. It has space on it and all kinds of planets and astronauts, and I thought that'd be kind of cool. Like, you know, put it on the border of her playroom. And so I got a big or a couple rolls of that. 99 feet of this stuff. So I got that on Amazon too. And then I did get my mom this little bottle. Speaking of my bathroom, you know, decorating my bathroom. one of the things we have in our bathroom are all these like glass bottles and perfume bottles. Some of them belong to my aunt, and so we have those in there, and then we started to add some bottles in there. And so I found this bottle on Amazon because I was thinking, I'm getting myself all kinds of stuff, and I got my niece something, and I want to get my mom something kind of special. And so I knew that they had these pretty perfume bottles, because this is a random, I may just cut this out, but speaking of my sister, I was talking about earlier, when my sister died, she was cremated, and so we have her ashes, and we're still friends with her ex-girlfriend from years ago, and so they were really close. You know how lesbians are. They're friends for life, whether they're together or not. I probably should cut that out. I don't mean any offense, because like I don't want to get my ass kicked by a lesbian, but you know what I'm saying. The joke is that they're friends for life. They show up with the U-Haul on their first date, they move in together, and then they're together, and then they break up, and then they're still friends for the rest of their lives. And it was kind of like that with my sister. My sister was bisexual, but she had girlfriends and boyfriends, and she kind of laid the groundwork for my coming out, being the first in our family to do that. But her girlfriend that she had, she stayed friends with and stuff, and I connected with after my sister died, and she's just a wonderful woman, and she remembers my sister every single time it's her birthday, or it's like the anniversary of her death. And so what she did was, when my sister died, she drew this little picture, and it's supposed to be her like with her head down, like grieving for my sister, and she's like holding this rose. It's kind of like a wilted because of losing my sister. And so one year what I did was I took that picture and I printed it out, and I put it inside of like one of those pop figure boxes, like those clear boxes, because I had a couple of those, because I used one. I had to buy a big pack to put that story that I made for I know this video is really long already, I like this long-winded story, but I bought a big pack of those pop figure boxes to put that short story that I wrote my mom, and I showed it in a previous video, and I made the little book. It's called the Christmas Ornaments, and I'm going to self-publish it in the future, and I have like the little bracelet that I made, that I gave her in it. And so I had another one of those boxes, so I thought maybe I can print out that drawing that she did, because it was like the anniversary of my sister's death. I wanted to give my sister's ex-girlfriend that just loved her so much, and was friends with her until the day she died, and has kept my sister's memory alive for us, even more than it already is. And just like mentioning her every year, like I mean, without fail, every single birthday, every single anniversary of her death. Even if it's just like sometimes she'll just send a little rose, like a little emoji, and it's like I know what she's doing. I know what it means and stuff. She's keeping her memory alive, and she'll find some pictures of my sister from years ago, and she'll send them to us, and it's just, I wanted to do something special for her, so I wanted to like give her a piece of my sister, and so I wanted to give her like a little vial of her ashes one time. And so I thought, I have those little pop figure boxes, and then I have that picture that she drew, that she shared with us, that she just a little sketch, and I'll put a little insert shot of like what the final thing looked like, but I printed out the picture that she drew, and then I put it in the back of the box, and then I found this perfect little perfume bottle, and that's the whole reason I talked about this story. So I knew that they had these pretty little perfume bottles, because I wanted to give her my sister's ashes in like something really special. And so I found this bottle, and it has like a flower on it that would like make her think of the drawing that she did. And then it was weird. I had that whole idea, and I had the bottle. I had bought it on Amazon. It was on its way, and I was gonna like put her ashes in the little perfume bottle, and like have a little display. And then I wanted to put my sister's picture in it somewhere, and then I went to Goodwill, and they had this picture frame. It was like shaped like a heart, and it matched the bottle and everything with like the flower on it and stuff. It was like the perfect kind of thing. And so I bought that thing, and I put a picture of my sister in it. And so I packaged it all up, and I sent it to her and everything, and she just loved it. She has it all displayed and everything in her house. But it's just like one of the, like, I talk about how I do all kinds of like ridiculous creative things. It's like that. It's like I wanted to do this like gracious gesture to like give her a piece of my sister, give her a bit of her ashes and stuff. But yeah, most people were just like, oh, here's this little Tupperware, you can put it in something. But I wanted to do something extra special, and like with every single creative thing I do, I go overboard. I mean, to the point of it being ridiculous. Like when I say I'm ridiculous, I'm not exaggerating. I go overboard with every single creative thing that I do. And so like it's like, oh, here's my sister's ashes in this little perfume bottle, and with this like special picture frame, and it's in this box that but you know what I'm saying. I go overboard. But anyway, all that to say, I got this perfume bottle from my mom, because I knew that they would. I knew that Amazon had all kinds of really pretty perfume perfume bottles. I knew that they would have one that my mom would love and would have like flowers or something on it. And so I picked this one out because it has some purple flowers on it. I mean, they're not violets like my mom likes, but it does have purple flowers on it. And it has this butterfly on it. I just thought this was a really pretty perfume bottle. And so it looks really nice in our bathroom. And there is, the thing that I made is like a doily for under this. So this is the little doily that I made, and I just kind of free-handed it. And so it looks like this in our bathroom. So what I did was it's like a double crochet circle, and then on the fourth row, I just created this kind of pattern. It kind of alludes to the bottom of, or the foot or whatever of this perfume bottle. But all it is if you care, a single crochet and a double crochet in one stitch, and then a chain 2, and then in the next stitch I did a double crochet and a single crochet. And so then I would just do that over and over again. I just kind of freehanded it. But the story behind this, I swear I'll get back to all this other stuff, because it's gonna be like one of my long videos. But the story behind this is I given this to my mom, and of course she loved it. You know, it finally came, and we put it in our bathroom. And as I was coming out of my bathroom, I was thinking I should make like a pretty I should make like a pretty doily to put under it. I don't know where that idea came from. I guess the little old lady in my head gave me the idea. I guess my muse is like a little old lady for anything creative that I do with yarn and stuff. But I was coming out of my bathroom, and I had this idea, like, maybe I can make a little doily for it underneath a little bottle. And so I literally, like, around this corner is like my bathroom right here. So I literally walked like 6 feet in here, and then I was like looking at my wall, and I had the bottle, and I was thinking, like, what kind of yarn would match this? And then I was like, you know, putting it up to here, and then I thought, like, maybe this one. If you can even see it, I don't know, because of all the crap on the screen. But it's I love this yarn, Shocking Violet. And so I was looking at that, and I thought that's gonna be the perfect yarn. And so I pulled it off the wall, and then I made a little doily or whatever. And like 10 minutes later, I had the doily. And like later on, I was thinking, like, this is exactly. I know this is like a small representation. This is like a little doily, okay? But like I attach meaning to all kinds of things. But like I was looking at this doily later, I was thinking, like, this is exactly why I buy all the yarn that I do. I mean, I know I have an excessive amount of yarn. It's utterly ridiculous. And people that watch my videos thinking, oh my God, another yarn haul. I guess I'll watch it, or like whatever. Obviously you do, because you know I got enough ad revenue and super thanks to buy all this stuff. But I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh my God, another yarn haul, really? Like you make like one thing, and then it's like, oh, here's this like bag with 27 skeins in it. This is exactly why I buy all the yarn that I do. I mean, other than the fact that it's really fun to buy it. Any other time, like if I didn't have all this yarn, and like when I was coming out of my bathroom, and I was thinking, oh, it'd be nice to make a doily. If I didn't have all this yarn in here, set up like a freaking store that I can just like pull from. Like if I didn't have all this yarn, I would have thought, okay, that would be like a really good idea to make like a little doily for the cute little bottle. But then like if I didn't have all this yarn, I would have thought, okay, well I guess I can go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow. Oh no, wait, tomorrow's Sunday, because and then they close because of God and Jesus or like whatever. So I guess I'm gonna have to wait till Monday, or I mean I guess I could look online and like look for some yarn. But even if I get it on Amazon, they don't have that big of a selection on Amazon. If I get it from there, it's probably going to take like 2 days at least, and so it's going to come like Monday or Tuesday anyway. I'll just wait until I get to Hobby Lobby, and then I like go to Hobby Lobby and like look. Have to drive all the way to Hobby Lobby, look through the yarn, and think, maybe this. Oh, I should have brought that bottle with me, but I didn't want them to think that I like took it off the shelf, and so maybe I should have taken a picture. That's what I need to do. So maybe I'll come in here the next time, and I'll have a picture ready that I can like compare it to. I'll get this one just in case, and then I get it home, and it's like, oh, it doesn't really match or whatever. But I'll check the next time I'm in there, and then I do, like, you know what I'm saying? Like all this mess. I'm not going to continue with this ridiculous metaphor, but you know what I'm saying? Like it would be like that. And then eventually I would get a yarn, and I would make a little doily. If I didn't forget, I would think I would be like going through my notes or whatever. If I even remember to write it down, and think, oh yeah, I was going to make a doily for that thing, but I got so distracted and stuff, and it was a weekend. I completely forgot about that. I'm gonna have to do that. I need to go back over there and get some yarn or whatever. But I came out of my bathroom, and then I thought I'm gonna make a doily. I went right to my wall, found a yarn like that, and pulled it off the wall, and then like made the doily, and 10 minutes later I had it done. And it's like, I know it's just like a small thing, but like that's exactly like the perfect representation of why I buy the yarn that I do, and why I have all this set up like this on this ridiculous wall that's only one wall in this room. There's all kinds of other walls in this room too with yarn on them, but that's why I buy all this yarn, because it's fun for one thing to crochet, but it's also inspirational to come in here, even if I don't have any ideas or whatever, just coming in here and just like looking at it, I'm thinking, Oh, look at this yarn right here. This would be really pretty for something. It kind of reminds you of like flowers and stuff. Yeah, maybe I should make something like just like looking at the yarn. It inspires ideas and stuff. So yeah, I know I look utterly ridiculous buying all this yarn, but like I don't care, because like of moments like this where I can take an idea and like 10 minutes later I have something that's made at and I didn't have to like drive to the store. I didn't have to spend hours scrolling online or like tapping my foot waiting for a package and then realizing later that it's here, but it's delivered next door, so I'm going to have to wait till they wake up and then you'll bring it over here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to do that. I could just like come in here and have practically every, and yet I'm still getting yarn that I've never gotten before in all these hauls and stuff. But I can come in here practically every single color you can think of, all these different colorways and stuff. And yeah, there's enough in here to like last me, way beyond my lifetime or whatever. But like, it's like every option you can think of in this room. And so that's why it's worth getting all the yarn like I do. Just for moments like that to create this ridiculous little doily or whatever. I'm going to have to take pictures. Like when I get all of the rest of my house all organized and stuff and all these little doilies sitting all over the place and runners and all this stuff, I'll have to take pictures of my house or videos or whatever so you can see all this ridiculous stuff. Because you can imagine like, this is just like one little tiny thing. You can imagine like all the glass bottles. And so I have a couple canisters that I bought out at Dollar Tree too to go in there somewhere. I'll get to that when I finally get to the story about going to the town where my Joanne was, but I have all kinds of like doilies all over the place, and you can imagine like what my house is starting to look like. But I love it. It's really pretty. You would never look at me and think my ass is living in this house and is responsible for all this stuff, but I am, and I wouldn't change anything about it. I love it. So I got that from my mom, this little bottle. And then on eBay I bought some books because I was looking online, and there's this local store in my area, the one that I got the Seven Dwarfs in from my mom. For her Snow White collection, and so I was looking on their Facebook page, and then they had some pictures of some of their stuff, and I was basically looking to see what their hours were, because their hours are kind of weird. But I was looking through there, and because what I do, I don't know if you're like this too, but like if I find out there's a new store in town, or there's a store that I didn't know about, I like to look in their pictures, whether they're old or not, and kind of like zoom in, or like if somebody posts like, oh, I'm in Goodwill, and like look at all the DVDs I have. I'll like zoom in on the picture, just like try to see all the spines of the DVDs to see like which one. Like it could be like one from a completely different town that I don't live in. Posted like 2 years ago, but I have that kind of urge to like look through there and sort of imagine like going through there like I'm in the store like buying stuff. And so I was looking through their old pictures, like this store that's in my town, and I was looking in their store, and I knew that they had a section with toys and stuff, and with all these puzzles and stuff. I was thinking, I wonder if they had any puzzles, because I hadn't been in there for a long time, and I don't remember looking for puzzles with yarn on them, but I knew that they had a lot of puzzles and stuff. So I wanted to like look in their pictures to see if they had like try to zoom in as best I could. The pictures weren't big enough, but I wanted to zoom in just to see if there were any that had yarn on them, because like I couldn't go there because of their hours. And so I was looking in their old pictures, and around Christmas last year, that they had this display with like some of their Christmas stuff, and they had this book sitting there, and I'm sure that the book is gone. I haven't gone over to that store yet, but I'm sure that book is gone, because it's like months after Christmas and everything, and they had it displayed like really big. But I thought like, I want that book. If I would have known that they had that book in there, I would have bought it. It's a kid's book, but it's called Dewey's Christmas at the Library, and it's about a cat with yarn. And so it's an adorable little book. I would show pictures and read parts of it and all that kind of stuff, but I don't own the copyright or whatever, but it's just like like pictures like the cat with yarn balls, and it's an adorable little story about a cat in a library around Christmas, and yarn, how it's part of the story and all that kind of stuff. But it's adorable, so I had to get one of these. So I was looking around on eBay, and the seller that had this was like, there are a couple sellers on eBay where there's probably thousands. Like there are sellers on eBay that like the big sellers where if you buy like 3 books you get one free, or if you buy 2 books you get one free, or like those kind of deals. And so this was like one of those things, and it said if you buy 2 you get a book free. And so I thought, I'm going to buy this book. I didn't care what it cost. So I thought, I'm going to buy this book, but I thought I'm going to see, my deal finder, I see something like, oh, there's a sale or something. There's like this big, red lettering there, and it says like, buy 2 get 1 free or like whatever. And so I was thinking, I'm gonna take advantage of that deal. And so I was like looking through their books, and there's one of those sellers that has like thousands of items. And so I was looking on there. I was searching up like, are there any Harry Potter things, any Beatles things, any Lucy things, any other kind of yarn things. I did get 2 other books that have yarn, and then I did order 6 books, but one of them didn't come because they found out that there was a couple pages missing from the book. So they refunded my money for that book. So I only got 5 books, but I got this one, and then the other 2 that are crochet related or yarn related was Mr. Putter and Tabby Spin the Yarn. So it's like an adorable little kid's book about yarn. And then this one, Red, Blue, and Yellow Yarn, A Tale of Forgiveness. This is adorable too. There's this really cute scene. Basically, he sees all of his grandmother's balls of yarn on her bed, and then he gets so excited he like throws them all over the place, and they get all tangled up and all scattered all over the place. And but it's a book about forgiveness because of what he did. I would have done the same damn thing, but it's adorable. So it's like this scene right here where he's like throwing them up in the air. He's like juggling them, and of course they're like unraveling and just going all over the place. But it's an adorable little kid's book, and I had to get it because I had yarn in it. But I got those, and then the book that didn't come was a Harry Potter book, and so I didn't get that. It was one I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get that one because it came with a wand and with a light in it, and it was like it would reveal secret messages in the book, and so that kind of sucked. But they refunded me the money. But then they did have this book about J.K. Rowling, the wizard behind Harry Potter. That's what it's called, J.K. Rowling, and so it's a book like about her, like a biography about her. So I got that just to add to my Harry Potter collection, and then they had this. I couldn't believe how big this book was, and it wasn't even that expensive either. It was like a couple dollars. Because like my favorite sitcom of all time is I Love Lucy, and I have a big I Love Lucy collection. I have like a literal I Love Lucy wall, and I didn't have this book, and it's called Lucy. Like, see, that's how heavy this book, how big and heavy this book is. I went like this, and it like shook the whole freaking table. I could not believe it's like a big coffee table book. It's called Lucy at the Movies because she had like a really big film career before she got into television and did I Love Lucy, and so this is a book about all her movies, and I just couldn't believe. Like, look at this book. I think this is maybe like $5 or $6 or something. This is insane. I mean, this is like some really big coffee table book, full color, just like hardcover, and just incredible. I mean, and it covers like her entire film career, even the ones that she did after Lucy, or like and she did some during Lucy too. But that was like a huge score. I cannot believe how cheap this was, considering how nice this book was. So those are the books I got on eBay. Okay, now maybe I can finally get to going to the town where my Joanne was. But anyway, so I realized that like on the way I was doing the math in my head and trying to figure out like how long it had been, and like I was on my crappy phone, trying to get on the internet with that crappy phone. It's one of those like flip phones or whatever. Why do I have to? I'm like having to show you this one, like a freaking show and tell. But it's one of these like really crappy phones, and so I was trying to get on the internet, trying to figure out like when Joanne closed. Like because I knew that I hadn't gone down there. I keep hearing hadn't. I knew I hadn't, but it's not, if I say it like that, it sounds stupid. I knew the last time I was down there, it was like a week or two before Joanne closed, because I didn't get to go down there. I was going to go down there that weekend, but then I changed my mind and I slept in, and then I thought, we'll just go next weekend or whatever. And then the next day, I was looking online around here, and they were talking about how that Joanne had closed, like that Saturday that I dragged my feet and didn't go down there. So I missed out going down there on the last day. But a lot of the people were saying that they didn't have hardly anything, and so of course, I guess it depends on like what they think is something in there. They might have thought like they might have seen like a whole bunch of yarn and thought, oh, they didn't really have anything, just like a bunch of yarn. Like they could have had some yarn, I don't know. But I know that like the last day of Joanne, some of the places were selling the skeins like freaking 15 cents a piece or like what. God, it's awful to think of like what I might have missed out on. I'm not going down there that weekend, but I'd rather sleep and actually function during the day. So I didn't go down there and I missed it. But I knew that it had been like a week or two before Joanne closed. And so I figured it out like on the car trip down there. And I was thinking like, God, it's been like 10 months since I've been down there. And so a lot of it was just like, what's the whole reason to go down there now that Joanne's not there? I mean, they have those pawn shops and stuff with the DVDs, but like otherwise it's just like, Goodwill, which I know that their Goodwill kind of sucks there. Like I know that we have like a big one here now. They took the two and they made them into one. or 3. They turned 3 into 1 because they closed the other one. Or I don't know if that's associated. It doesn't matter. God, you know, there's like this big Goodwill in my town now. There's only one. But I know that like even before when we had like the individual Goodwills, that our Goodwills were always better than that one down there. And so I knew that like they have a Goodwill, but they hardly have anything. They have like 2 freestanding shelves, and then like a shelf on the back wall with like some toys, and then they have like a tiny shelf with books and movies. But like otherwise, it's just like a bunch of clothes. Like they don't have hardly any like knick-knack kind of stuff. And so I knew that the Goodwill is kind of disappointing. So there wasn't really like, oh, we need to drive 30 minutes to go to that, you know, crappy Goodwill, or like the Dollar Trees and Walmart and Ollie's, and like, you know, for the most part they're kind of the same thing. I mean, except for Ollie's, because, you know, different Ollie's get different things, but like for the most part it's like the same kind of stores. I mean, the pawn shops are really cool because, you know, I can find physical media and stuff in there, but was it worth like a 30-minute trip like all the time going down there? So that's why I didn't go down there in like 10 months or whatever. But we wanted to go down there just to, you know, see, just to have fun, and I thought, you know, I had this money, and I thought that maybe that would be an excuse to go down there and just to, like, you know, talk about it in the video, like this adventure, like this trip that my mom and I went on, you know, to go, you know, where our Joanne was, and like just to see like, oh, it's gone, and how sad that was. But you know, we had this really fun time, you know, like spending the money and buying all kinds of stuff at all these other places and or whatever. And so that was like the dream in our head, to like, you know, turn it into this whole experience and this really fun trip. So we went to the supermarket in that store area where Joanne was, and what we did is they have those like rotisserie chickens, and then they have the chicken that is like in individual pieces. It's deep fried and stuff. And like when we were down there one time, when we were going to Joanne, we stopped in there and we were kind of hungry, and we thought, we'll just get like this big thing. It's like a whole chicken broken down, and it's like this fried chicken, and it was so good. And so like, you know, supermarket chicken it can be really good. And so we thought we'll do that same kind of thing. We'll kind of like recreate the fun of like going down there and having the fun, you know, going to Joanne and stuff, and we'll eat some chicken in the supermarket and stuff, and we'll have like a little picnic in our car. And I like gathered up like, you know, paper plates and napkins and silverware and like and gloves, because, you know, how I'm OCD, and I can't, you know, I can never like without washing my hands pick up some kind of like fast food or like a piece of chicken from a supermarket and just like eat it. You know, I have to have gloves. And so I had my gloves and everything, had everything except freaking salt. And so I had to go like back into the store, get some freaking seasoning salt or whatever. So we were just like sitting in the car and with our, you know, sodas and our, you know, salt shaker or whatever, and, you know, like eating our fried chicken or whatever right out of the box, and on our paper plates and stuff, and having a little picnic in the supermarket parking lot or whatever. It was like really fun. And so but the only thing was the whole trip, I mean, it was really fun, and we did find a lot of things, but like the whole trip, there was a little bit of a disappointment with like, you know, some of the things. We sort of built it up in our head a little bit too much, like one of those things where sometimes the imagining of something is a lot better than the actual thing, and where you kind of like, you know, build it up in your head and you just imagine how things are going to go, and then it's just like, it's a little disappointing. Like the chicken was a little chewy, and it was a little dry, and so that was like a sort of a disappointing thing. And then we went to the pawn shops. There's 2 pawn shops down there, and one of them is connected, or it's the same brand or the same name as one in our town. And I don't know if they're connected or not. It's the same name, but it feels like they're connected because I walked in there, and they never really had a whole lot of DVDs in that pawn shop. But we walked in there, and I was like looking around, and I didn't find any DVDs. And so I was asking that woman, and she was like, she was walking around. There was like 2 people in the whole freaking store, but she was walking around like what's the people on SVU, Law and Order SVU, when the cops are like, you know, interviewing people about like some murder investigation, and like the people, you know, even though the cops are there asking them about this important thing, that they're just like, they're too busy to like stop and just have a conversation. I know it's because of like TV production, them wanting to, you know, have like a lot of movement and stuff in the show, but at the same time it's like ridiculous that they're like being interviewed about a murder investigation, and they're like, oh yeah, they're like answering questions or whatever, and like signing things while they're like talking to the police, like, oh yeah, it's like in their head they're thinking, oh yeah, I'll answer your questions, but I still have to, you know, put all these boxes of fruit on this truck while I'm talking to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're like constantly in motion. It was kind of like that in that pawn shop. It's like we were looking for the DVDs, and she was like, you know, walking around just like acting like she was doing something, and like she was just too busy to like deal with our asses. And they said, we don't sell DVDs here anymore. And like, you know, it's like putting things on a shelf or like whatever she was doing. I thought, like, so they don't sell DVDs anymore. So I thought, okay, well, that's, you know, X'd out. So if we go down there, there's no point in going into that one anymore. And then the other one, it was always so much better. Because, like, the first time I went down there to Joann, and I went into that pawn shop, that they had just, like, tons of, I mean, like, literally hundreds and hundreds of DVDs in there. And it was so much fun, like, going through all those DVDs, like, shelves and shelves and all these bins and just, like, tons of DVDs in there. And so I was really looking forward to going in there because, you know, like, digging through there is just, like, so much fun and going through all those shelves and everything. And so I walked in there, and it just looked like they kind of scaled them down. I mean, maybe people just bought them in the 10 months since we had been down there, but it just looked like somebody had, like, people had gone in there and bought some of them, and they just never replenished them. And so I'm just assuming that they're just not taking DVDs anymore, or maybe people just don't have them like they used to, or, you know, or there are people like me that are, you know, like clinging to their physical media and they would never sell it just because of like all these stupid streaming services and how expensive they are. Plus, I just love physical media, and so I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like that. They're getting all these DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. They just don't want to part with them. But it just looks like they kind of scaled it down, so that was a little disappointing. I did find some movies, which I'll talk about after my long-winded story. And I did go into Dollar Trees and stuff. I found a couple things. I was looking for some little puzzles, but they didn't have any. Oh, God, little. I'm too in my head today, just because I'm talking so much in this video, and I'm only like halfway done. God, hopefully you started a big project at the beginning of this video because you're probably going to be able to finish it by the end of it because I'm my long-winded ass. But so anyway, so I went into the Dollar Trees and like every single Dollar Tree that was in the area that I could find, and they didn't have any puzzles or whatever. I did find a couple random things, and then I did get a couple skeins of yarn in one of the Dollar Trees, and I got some skeins. They did have some skeins of yarn in my Ollie's of that Red Heart Super Easy that wasn't in my town. In fact, let me talk about that, my trip to Ollie's or whatever, so that I can, you know, show something while I'm talking and rambling. But they had a couple skeins of that Red Heart Super Easy yarn. They had two colorways that my store didn't have. Put a pin in that. So it's a Red Heart Super Easy stripes, and then this is the color Wheat Field. And so it's yellows and golds and kind of like an olive green and light green, sort of a sage green on the outside. Really pretty skeins. So I got two of those. These were $5 a piece. And then they had these gold ones. So Red Heart Super Easy in the color gold. I mean, it's this gorgeous gold color. It kind of matches this perfectly. See, the solids are always bigger than the stripes or the variegated. So I got two of each of those. And then at the front of the store, they had, these are from Joann. Because if you look at the label, it says by Joann Stores. So these are like Joann leftovers. It's like a tiny little bag though. Because I'm so used to like those giant bags because I, you know, buy so much crap. But it has these kitties on them. And the only reason I got this... is that there's a ball of yarn on one of the astronaut kitty's hands or whatever. Most of them are holding like planets or whatever. There's a couple that are holding like, balls of yarn. That's the only reason I got this. There's another ball of yarn on the back. But I got that at Ollie's. And then they had, like I've said, Ollie's has an incredible selection of books. And they had this book. I have a lot of these. I don't have every single one of them, but I do have these books about the Harry Potter movies. This is the movie magic book about Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. And I didn't have this book. I do have some of them from the other Harry Potter movies, but I didn't have this one. And so this was $4.99. So this is really cool, like one of these books. And it's a kind of book with some things in it like this that are attached on the inside. And I love these kind of books. With like the art and stuff that comes out, or like little things that come out of the book. I love these. I do have a couple of different ones of these from the other Harry Potter movies, but I got that in Ollie's. And then they had these posters. I don't even know where I'm going to put these, because like I'm getting so many of these Harry Potter posters and stuff. I'm just wondering like where am I going to put all this stuff, because I've spent, like I've said, I've spent so much time on this room and organizing my yarn, and you know, and also the time it takes me to edit my videos. Can you figure out why? Because I'm so like long-winded and all over the place. But so it takes me a while to like edit all my videos and like all, you know, the thumbnails and the descriptions and like, you know, talking to you in the comments, and it's a lot of work that I've spent, you know, doing all of this and like, you know, organizing the yarn and and the hunt for it. That's another thing too that's taking up time. But I've spent so much time and so much focus in these past few months, like building this YouTube channel and like doing all this stuff with the yarn, that I've sort of neglected my my ability to speak properly. You know, I've as many times as I've stumbled in my videos, it's been like 10 more times than you know of, because I've already cut them out. I already know it. I haven't even cut them out yet, but I know I'm going to cut them out. Whatever. I've neglected my other collectibles and stuff. Like whenever I get something like Rugrats related or Harry Potter related or Friends related or whatever Lucy related, I've just been like putting them on the shelves, but I haven't really spent the time organizing like I used to. Like I haven't even redone my I Love Lucy tree that I've talked about in my videos, and I need to do that. And I've spent so much time on all the yarn and stuff, and it's been fun as hell. But like I need to like take some time to do all that stuff too. And so, but I don't even know where I'm going to put all my Harry Potter. I've just been sort of stacking my Harry Potter posters that I've been getting in front of my Harry Potter stuff, but like I don't really know where to put them on my walls or anything like that yet. But I was in there and they had these those in the local Ollie's here. They had some of those canvas posters, and like the really nice canvas posters. These are $18.99 or $17.99. These are $18 a piece. Like these really nice canvas posters that are like $18 a piece. And so they had some in my local Ollie's, and I showed them in previous videos, and they're really nice posters. But they had two in there that I didn't have, and so I went ahead and got these. This one's the Chamber of Secrets book cover, like the original Mary Grand Prix book cover. So I got that one. So that's really cool. And I have the Sorcerer's Stone canvas poster that I got at my local Ollie's. And then they had this one. It's the Goblet of Fire movie poster. This is really cool. And what's really cool about this too is I've only seen a couple of the movies in the theater. I saw Sorcerer's Stone when it first came out. That's what made me fall in love with the whole Harry Potter franchise. Because I hadn't read the books, and I guess my brother, like his teacher, was talking about it in school and like read them part of one of the books or whatever, and he was talking about, oh, Harry Potter, and wanted to go see Harry Potter, and I was thinking, oh, God, isn't that movie they keep talking about wizards or something? Like I wasn't into Harry Potter at all, and so I had to take my brother because he was young. I mean I was young too, but like I had to go with my brother to see Harry Potter. And like I was just like I couldn't believe I was sucked into the magic of Hogwarts and all the magical wizarding world and all that. I loved it ever since. And so it was just like this magical experience. And so I saw the first movie in the theater, and then I saw Goblet of Fire, and then I think Half-Blood Prince. Those are the only ones I saw in the theater. And so I do have like a big canvas print of the Sorcerer's Stone movie poster. I do have one of Prisoner of Azkaban, but I didn't see that in the theater. And then now I have Goblet of Fire. And I do have a poster on my wall, but it's just like one of those plain posters. It's not like a canvas poster. It's not even like the movie poster. It's just like a really cool poster that I think I got at Goodwill or something a long time ago of Half-Blood Prince. So it's cool that I have like posters from all the movies that I've seen in the theaters and stuff. But I don't have like a cool canvas print. But I wasn't going to get both of these, but then my mom was with me and she said, well, you don't have either one of them, so you have to get both of them. And I said, I don't need both of these. It's just like $18 a piece. And she said, well, isn't this what this whole thing is about? Like, you having fun and stuff, and us having this, big adventure and, buying all this stuff. And so you should just get both of them. And so, like, I just went and got both of them because I thought, that's exactly what this whole thing was supposed to be about. It's just supposed to be like about us just completely blowing the money and just having all kinds of fun with it and not thinking about, well, maybe I shouldn't get, an $18 poster. It's like, I have the money now. Just like get it and just have fun with it. And so that's exactly what I did. So I got both of those posters at Ollie's. And then off of the books, they had this big display with you could tell it was like Joanne leftovers and stuff. That's where the bag was. And so they had some stuff there, and they actually did have a couple. They did had a couple. They actually did have a couple bolts of fabric because I knew that Ollie's was starting to get in some bolts of fabric that were left over from Joanne, but my store only ever got like maybe 2 bolts in. They did have like 4 in that store, but the bolts of fabric, they were kind of like canvas sort of things, or now I'm thinking about got a TV reference. I'm thinking about Lucy and the potato sack dress. It was kind of like the material like a potato sack would be made out of, or potato. Now, I was trying to not say potato. I was trying to say potato, and now I'm just thinking about Golden Girls and the whole like bacon this potato. Anyway, where was I in the story? I was in Ollie's, and oh god, oh god, I'm such a mess. Okay, so anyway, so I was in Ollie's and the whole fabric thing, and when I was looking at the yarn, I did look to see if they had that, because I said that they had all that Bluebell yarn. I mean, they just had like this giant box full of it the last time I was down there. Of course, it had been 10 months, but it was just shocking to see that, like, all that was gone, because I just assumed that like a lot of that would still be there, because it looked like every single skein of Bluebell that was ever made, it was down in that store, but all that was gone. And so I had a really fun time at Ollie's. They had a lot of really nice stuff. And then I don't know the order of the places that we went. I did go into Walmart, and they didn't have any. Their yarn section was even worse than ours here. And then I went to a Dollar Tree, and they had this pretty little jar. I got this from my mom because she loves violets. I don't think these are violets, but I thought that she would love this because it has purple flowers on it. I can't remember how much this was, but it was just a little glass jar, and it has the cork on the top. It has all these flowers on it. And some of them are purple, and so they may be violets because they do have yellow violets and different colored violets. So it may be. I don't know, but I just got this from my mom. It has a little flower hanging off of it, like a little tassel or whatever. But I just got that from my mom. It'll probably go in our bathroom too. The yarn I got from in there, I don't know. I went to so many Dollar Trees from here to there and back. I don't know which Dollar Tree it was, but it doesn't matter. The one on Main Street, like as if you even know. When I was in there, and like in my last video, I was talking about how I was going to put on my Teddy skeins, like the Premier Just Yarn Teddy skeins, in that little. I still have it over here. I haven't put it up. I don't know where to hang it yet. But in this little bag, this little net bag thing that I got at my local Goodwill, and it's one of those things that goes on a stroller. But I thought I could put all my little yarn, my Teddy yarns in there. Look, it fits perfectly. And then I'll go into a Dollar Tree, and then they had some that I don't have. And I have a couple skeins I don't know what to do with, but they had these colors, and I never saw these in my local Dollar Tree. So Premier Just Yarn, and the color is Night Sky, and so it's like this navy blue color. They only had one skein of this. When I got these Teddy skeins before, I got like 2 of each, I think, or 2 or 3 of each, and so. Or 4, it doesn't matter, for God's sake. God. So they only had 1 of these, so I only got 1. And then they only had 1 of these, too. This is gorgeous. Premier Just Yarn and the color Berry. It's like this burgundy color. This is gorgeous. They only had 1 of those. And then they only had 2 of this color, a Premier Just Yarn, and the color Birch. It's kind of like a tannish ivory color, and so there's 2 of those. So I got those skeins, and then they had these canisters I was talking about. This is really cool. Like this is a little bit of like a. I describe the color of every freaking thing. I can see if why I would describe the color of yarn. Like, I don't need to describe, like, every single thing. Like, this bag right here, this bag, it's purples and pinks, but I don't need to describe the color of every. Oh God. I was getting really comfortable. I was going to say, like, mother or something. God, where my brain went. So, I'm really getting comfortable in this video. If that almost popped out, God, I have a filthy mouth in my regular life. I mean, I cuss a lot in my videos, but, like, you know, it's even worse if you knew me in my personal life. So, anyway, God, I cannot, I'm glad I stopped myself with that. But anyway, I would have cut it out, but whatever. But this is kind of like a pink one. A pink, I was about to say peach, and then I said pink. A pink one. God, and so this sort of peachy pink color. God, I'm such a mess. It threw me when it almost came out. But the only reason I got it is because the top of the jar, canister, or whatever, has a jewel on it. And so it kind of matches the stuff in our bathroom. And so I don't know what I'm going to put in this. And so there's that one, and then this one, which is kind of like an opal-esque kind of look, and so they're really pretty jars or whatever. These were $5, but when they rang up $3 a piece. I don't know why, because the sticker, it's usually the reverse, like in Dollar Trees or Dollar Generals or whatever. You go through there, especially now with like the inflation and how the prices change so much. It's usually like you buy a candy bar that's, I was about to say like 55 cents. That's how old I am. When they used to be 55 cents in the olden days, now they're like, you know, $1.75 for a frickin' candy bar. But you get a candy bar and it says like, you know, $1.50 up on the sticker, and then you take it up to the register and it goes through as $1.75 or, you know, some crap like that. And then you get it anyway because you want a frickin' candy bar. But you know, it's usually crap like that where it's usually higher at the register, but it just rang up $3 instead of $5 a piece. So these are really nice jars or canisters or whatever the hell. I don't know what I'm going to put in it. Like, how many cotton balls can you have in a bathroom? So I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but they're really cool. And then, like I said, that Goodwill down there just really sucks. Like, we went in there, it literally took us maybe 10 minutes to go through there, not even that long. And my mom got like a plain shirt, and there was literally nothing else. I mean, there's these tiny little racks of stuff. It was just another thing that was a little disappointing. But that was sort of expected because, you know, we're sort of disappointed every single time we've gone in there. I think the only like really big thing that I remember buying in that Goodwill was that table that I got from my sister-in-law that I talked about how I recovered it with the puzzle fabric, because she's into puzzles too. And so we had found this table down there, and I found some fabric at at Hobby Lobby, and or I'd seen it in there. You know, one of the very few times I went in there looking for yarn. No, I saw that in the fabric, they had some fabric that had puzzle pieces on it, and so I'd remembered that and how cool that was. But then when she said that, when we found out that she was into puzzles and stuff, I thought maybe I can get some of that. The fabric to go on that table, and so I recovered this table and gave it to her. Of course, after I did it, I thought it's kind of stupid that I put that piece of fabric on a puzzle table when it would make the pieces look even harder to see. And so luckily I had this big bolt that I got in a yard sale of this red felt, and so I cut a piece of it to go over it, but you can still see the puzzle pattern on it and stuff. But that's like the only really big thing I remember getting in there, other than like maybe my mom finding a shirt every once in a while, or I don't remember finding any DVDs down there. I mean, I haven't been down there that often, but like I just don't remember ever finding anything really big down there in that Goodwill. And then, like I said, I went into that really good pawn shop, and I did find some DVDs, but I was a little disappointed that they had scaled them down so much. But I did find some in their store. So their DVD, what I'm going to say the price because it wasn't what it was. He gave me a deal. Even down there, like I hardly ever go down there, and he gave me a deal. I'm always finding deals, like a deal magnet. I mean, seriously, like the Blu-rays are supposed to be $3 a piece, and then the DVDs, like what they do is, I hate that they do this, but they put these X's on them, and I think like I forget which color is which, but I think if there's a blue X, it's like 50 cents, and if it's a red X, it's 25 cents or like whatever, and then the rest of them are $1. But they put these like obnoxious. You can just use a rubbing. If you ever get like a mark on your DVD case, like the actual plastic, you can take a little bit of rubbing alcohol and get it off, but it's just like a pain in the ass having to do that. So like the regular DVDs, these were like 50 cents a piece, 25 cents a piece, or like whatever. These ones with the X's. But I got the Imitation Game. I saw this as a really good movie. This is a Blu-ray, so that's supposed to be $3. And then Time to Kill. They had this on Blu-ray, so I thought that was really cool. They had that movie that I've talked about if you watched all my videos. The movie that my mom loved, and I found like 2 copies in the same day of the DVD of it, because she would watch it every single time it would be on TV. And then it wasn't on for a weekend, and was like, oh, what are we gonna do? The movie's not on this weekend. So we found one copy at Salvation Army, and then we found another copy at Goodwill on the same day. And so we ended up buying both of them just because my mom loved this movie so much, and Matthew McConaughey. So I found the Blu-ray in that pawn shop. And then this one, Bonneville, has Jessica Lange, Kathy Bates, and Joan Allen. A lot of good people. I've never seen this, but it seems like it might be really good with all those people in it. And then Sleepwalking. I only got that because it has Nick Stahl in it, from Carnival. I'm like, I'm in my head too much. Nick Stahl from Carnival. I don't know. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name, but I don't know if that's going to be any good or not. Oh, Charlize Theron's in this too. I love her. She was good in Monster and all kinds of other things. You know who she is. God. And then Amos and Andrew. I don't know if this is any good, but my mom picked this out. It has Nicolas Cage and Samuel L. Jackson in it. That might be good. I don't know. And then they had Dial a Prayer. I only got this because it has William H. Macy in it. This is brand new. It's from Dollar General, if I recognize the price sticker right. I don't know if this is going to be good or not, but I do like William H. Macy. He's been in a lot of things, but I know him most from Shameless. And I know her from, I used to watch, what was it, American, what the hell was that show called? About American Bandstand. American Dreams, is that what it was called? I watched that for like a couple episodes in the first season. I enjoyed it, but I never finished it. I know her from that, but so I got that. And then Backdraft. Well, I have this movie, and I haven't watched it yet. My mom said this is a really good movie, but I haven't watched it. But this is like the 2-disc anniversary edition, so I went ahead and got this because I know the one that I already had is just like the 1-disc version, so I got like the special edition. So maybe I'll finally watch it. It's got a hell of a lot of good people in it too. God, I really need to watch this because my mom has talked about this for years, how good this movie is. So I got those. So these DVDs, so do the math in your head, like at least, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say I can't remember exactly how much the red X's are. Let's say this was like 50 cents. So like, let's say that's $10, right? The other thing that they had was this Lucy clock, and I recognized it right away because I already have one that's like this. I mean, the pictures and all that kind of stuff are different, but I already have one. It's like one of these dome clocks, and I brought the other one down here to show you. But I saw this. Let me get the dome. But I saw this sitting on the shelf, and I went to it like radar. From far, I can see a Lucy heart from like far away. I went to it right away. This is so cool. I mean, how it has a Lucy on it, and the Lucy logo in the bottom of the clock, and then all around the bottom. Let me just take the dome off because I don't want anything to happen to it. And then all around the bottom are all these hearts with pictures of Lucy and Ricky and all of them in it. And so there's that. And then this, as the clock is on, this spins around, and it has hearts and little TVs with the Lucy, I Love Lucy logo on it. This is just amazing. And so this was priced at $30. Like, I didn't even think about it. I thought, I'm getting it because this is like a Lucy thing, a really cool I Love Lucy clock. And it's one like the one that I have. Like, it's literally exactly the same, except that the pictures are different. So, obviously, it's the same company. The one that I have, that I already had, was one that I got from Kmart. That's how long ago that was. Because I don't even think Kmart exists anywhere, even online. But this is the one I got, and of course, it has the dome and everything on it, too. But this is the one, like the Lucy Candy Factory. For a while, they were, like, branding a lot of stuff, like the Lucy Candy Factory, or usually Lucy Chocolate Factory kind of stuff. And they had like actual candy you could buy that was branded that way, and so it's based on that. And so it has, you know, them at the conveyor belt there with the chocolates and stuff, and there with the chocolates in their mouths and all that. So I already had that one, and so to find one that matches exactly, and it has all these other pictures on it, it was just like, I didn't even hesitate. I thought $30. Yep, I'm getting it. So like I picked it up and I was like, okay, now what am I going to do with this while I look at the rest of the store? Because I knew I was going to get this the second I saw it. So I got that. So I went up to the register, and what was funny, the guy said, "Oh, you're getting my Lucy clock." And I thought, like, I really doubt that, you know, this was actually his clock. But he was just, you know, saying that, you know, I was getting the Lucy clock. God knows how long it had been there. But the sticker on it said it was $30. And so like 30, and then with the DVDs and Blu-rays, let's say that's another $10. So it was supposed to be $40, but he said, "Oh, you're paying with cash. I'll give you a deal. How about we just let it go for $28?" And I thought $28, and he said, "Oh yeah, this is priced at $30. You're getting it for less than the clock by itself." And I thought, like, holy crap! And so I got all of this for $28. And so I mean, it was worth every penny just for this clock alone. But then, you know, get the movies on top of it. But it was just such an amazing find to find this down there. And so yeah, there were a couple disappointing things, you know, going down there, and things not turning out exactly as fun as I imagined in my head. But we did find a lot of really fun things, and we did have our fun little picnic there. Even if we did have to, like, you know, chomp through some a little bit, you know, dry chicken or whatever, and we did have fun, you know, going into the stores and looking at all kinds of stuff, and we did find some things, and Harry Potter and Lucy and some yarn, and it was just like really fun. And so then we left and everything. We were coming back home, and I did hit a couple other Dollar Trees, but didn't find anything else. And then I thought, like, we're still out, and I went to town, like, you know, back in town, and so I thought maybe we can go to our local stores around here. And so I went to Hobby Lobby, and they didn't have anything. No yarn, no clearance yarn. I mean, it wasn't a shipment day or anything, so I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and they'll have some yarn. And then I went to Ollie's, and what was funny is they actually, like, because for a long time they had all those boxes in the back. There's still some in the back. I'd gotten all of the Red Heart Super Easy stripes and the Red Heart Super Easy, like the solids, all those black that I got. And it took them so long to, like, open all the other boxes and stuff. I wasn't expecting them to get any more in. But I walked in there and just, you know, checked to see if they had any yarn. I walked back there, and then the stripes that I had gotten in the town where my Joanne was, they had all kinds. Oh, speaking of that, I'm like all over the place. But the striped yarn that I got there, they had opened up a whole bunch of those in my local store, and they put them on the shelves. So it was just funny to see those in there. But the reason I got them is because my store had never opened that colorway, and I just thought my store just wasn't going to get that color. And then all of a sudden, there's like a whole bunch in my local store. I didn't get any more of it because I hadn't gotten, you know, 2 there. But it was just funny to see them there. But anyway, what I was saying about the Joanne thing. When I was talking about in one of my other videos about Joanne and like, you know, one of the reasons why I haven't gone down there is, like, you know, the hesitation of, like, I didn't want to see my Joanne gone, because it was so much fun, like the excitement of, like, you know, pulling into that shopping center and then seeing Joanne and, like, you know, imagining, like, going in there and looking at all the yarn and stuff. I didn't even want to see it gone. But what I said before is, you know, it's probably gonna end up being like some kind of freaking vape shop or some crap like that, because that's usually what pops up in a store like that. But what's really cool is it was still all boarded up and everything, and but you could see on the front of it, it said, like, future home, or like, what is it, future home of a Five Below. And I've never been into a Five Below, other than, like, you know, through a Coco Peru video when she went to a Five Below. I've never been into an actual Five Below. My brother has talked about it, though, because he's traveled a little bit, and he said, "Oh, you ought to go into this store, like a Five Below, if you're ever in another town." And he said that he went into a Five Below before, and it was like a really cool store or whatever, and it had like sort of a Dollar General, Dollar Tree kind of thing, like with cheap stuff. And he just went on and on about it, and but they've never opened one in our town before, and so but it's really cool that, like, I mean, it's not like a yarn store or anything like a Michael's. Or God, can you imagine if they actually opened up a Hobby Lobby down there? That would have, like, all the gas I would have wasted going down there all the time. I was about to say every day. Imagine all the gas I would waste going down there just looking for clearance on in a second Hobby Lobby location. But no, I mean, it's not a yarn store, but at least they're opening up like a Five Below, like something. I think they may have like some crochet kits or something, but I don't know if they. I doubt they sell yarn or anything. But at least it's something more interesting than like a vape shop or, you know, some like cash advance kind of thing. At least they're opening up something that that would appeal to people that, you know, maybe miss Joann. They probably do have like a little craft section, and they have like other kinds of things. I mean, it's not exactly like a Joann, but at least it's something a little bit more interesting. So I was relieved to see that that was there. And I mean, yeah, it's still not Joann, and Joann's closed and gone and all that kind of stuff. But at least there's new life being breathed into that storefront or whatever, and it's something that, you know, would be interesting to like if we go down there on another adventure and stuff. It's something that to look forward to like, you know, pop in to see what kind of, you know, little interesting things they have in there. So that was nice to see. But then the only other thing is went back to what I was saying. So I went to Ollie's, and then I saw that yarn. I didn't get any of it because I already gotten some. And then I went to Goodwill, and they did have this is ridiculous. My mom saw this, and we're gonna give this to my brother because my brother loves to grill out, and we had that nice cookout thing that we did for our birthdays and stuff when we went over to his house. And he does have this really nice sort of flat top grill, and so he does like to grill out. And this is utterly ridiculous though, but we found this. It's this like giant spatula. God, it's just so freaking ridiculous. But I mean, you could probably flip like, you know, 6 or 8 burgers at one time with this freaking spatula. I guess that's what that's for, to be able to, you know, flip a whole bunch of stuff on the grill at the same time or whatever. But it's just like this giant. It's brand new. This was only $3.99, like $3.99 for this thing. He's gonna love this because, you know, he does grill out a lot at his house, and so we got this like giant spatula for him. And then they had a DVD, The Book of Stars. I've never seen this, but it has Mary Stuart Masterson and Jenna Malone in this, and I do love Jenna Malone. Has been in a lot of stuff. The thing I knew her from first was Donnie Darko, but then she's also been in that movie with Susan Sarandon where she had cancer. Stepmom, God, and she's been in a lot of movies. She's a really good actress. Saved, she was in that too. And then Mary Stuart Masterson, hello, Fried Green Tomatoes. Like, she's a really good actress. So I got that at Goodwill. And then my mom found this for me. She was like looking in the clothes. Like, she always looks in the shirts and the clothes and stuff for her. I never look in the clothes for myself because I wear like a 5, 6X or whatever, and they never have big clothes for my big fat ass. But and it's just disappointing to like look through the clothes and all the shirts and stuff and to see like, oh, look at this really nice shirt, and it's like then you look at the label, was like 2X. It's like, oh crap. So I never looked at the clothes for myself, but my mom saw this in her clothes, and she said, oh, here, I got this for you. And of course, this isn't for me to wear. This is just to go with my Harry Potter stuff, but Hogwarts with Hedwig on it. So this is really cool, like with an owl and everything. So that's a really neat branded sweater, $4.99 for that. And so we got that. Oh, and we did get this. They had this thing with all these little tiny puzzles in it. None of them have cats or yarn or anything, but it's like this winter theme. Like, I think there's 6 puzzles in it, and so my mom got that because she likes working the little puzzles too, because it's kind of fun to like, you know, work a little puzzle and like be done in like an hour or so. But she got her these little puzzles and stuff, so these will be fun to do. But that's basically all the stuff that we got. So we just had so much fun, and it was so much fun to like, you know, take that money and just blow the hell out of it. You know, just spend all of it and just buy all kinds of stuff, and some of it is just utterly ridiculous. Some of it is just amazing and really cool, and all these, you know, puzzles and Lucy things and Harry Potter and DVDs and books and ornaments and stuff and just all kinds of things. And all of this is because of you all. I mean, just like watching my videos and the super thanks and having to. I know it's frustrating as hell, like sitting through the ads or whatever at the beginning or in the middle when they, you know, I'm like, of course it's probably a break for you because I'm probably in the middle of, and like blah 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 blah, and then all of a sudden a commercial comes on, and it's usually like, oh god, a commercial. But like with my videos, it's probably like, you can finally breathe, because you know how much of a motor mouth I am. So it's probably a huge relief. But anyways, all of this is because of you, sitting through those ads and the super thanks and like just contributing to my channel and keeping it active and you know, putting comments down below and liking and subscribing and all that kind of stuff. Like all of this fun that my mom and I had, and like buying all this stuff and all the fun that we're gonna have, like watching the movies and reading the books and like, you know, putting all this stuff around the house and decorating it and putting the puzzle together. Like all that fun is because of you all, and I'm so appreciative to you, and I hope you enjoyed looking at all the ridiculous ways that I spent all that money or whatever. But it was just like so much fun, and I thank you so much. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope whatever big project you started at the beginning, you got finished at the end. You're probably starting your second project for the day, because you probably got through with the other one because this video is so damn long. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. And thank you again. Seriously, I really appreciate all of you so much.